Hey everybody, welcome back to Peachy Disc Golf. Today I'm going to be doing sort of an initial impressions video where we are going to do some field test throws of some lightweight discs. We have discs in the Paul McBeth lineup of discs from Discraft, all in Z-LITE plastic. Let's see how these lightweight discs fly, and we'll also compare them to their max weight ESP counterparts. Alright, so not too long ago, Discraft released some discs from the Paul McBeth lineup of discs in their beginner-friendly Z-LITE plastic. So Z-LITE is basically a lightweight version of some of their popular discs. I actually know that they're going to be doing Z-LITE with some of their standard discs as well, but for this video, we're going to be taking a look at 4 drivers from Paul McBeth's lineup of discs with Discraft. I have 3 of these discs in max weight ESP plastic as well, so we are going to be doing a little comparison out in the field to see how do these lightweight discs hold up. So there's sort of like 2 main things you'll sort of get typically with lightweight discs. A lot of times, because they're lighter, if you have a slower arm speed like myself, you might get a little bit extra distance compared to like a max weight driver of the same disc, just because it's a little bit easier to throw. So that's the portion that I am most looking forward to. But to sort of counter that, a lot of times with these lightweight discs, they tend to be a little bit more understable than their max weight counterparts. So I'm really curious to see, because most of the discs that we have are actually overstable drivers. So I'm really interested to see how are these discs going to stack up. Let's talk about the 4 discs that we have here. First, the Athena here. Numbers are 7502 with a Discraft stability rating of 1.7. So this is a nice, dependable, overstable fairway driver. In this Z-LITE plastic, I have mine in 158 grams. Really lightweight. Moving on up in speed, we have the Discraft Onyx here. Numbers are 10603 with a stability rating of 1.9. So a nice overstable hybrid driver in between that sort of fairway driver, distance driver slot. I do have a max weight Onyx that we'll compare this to. The Onyx was actually one of my first Discraft purchases, along with an Avenger SS. I just really liked the stamp that I found. This disc is still a little bit too overstable for me. I haven't bagged an Onyx in a long time, have no plans to, but I'm interested to see, is this lightweight Onyx going to be a little bit more manageable because it's lighter weight. We're looking at, for this disc, where is it? 154 grams, so even lighter. So I'm really interested to see how this one behaves. All right, and then we have 2 12-speed drivers. We have the Hades, which is an understable distance driver, 12.6, -3.2. It still has a stability rating of 1.0. I think this is the lightest one of the group. We're looking at 153 grams. And then we also have the Zeus here, 12.5, -1.3, basically Discraft's version of the Destroyer. Stability rating is 1.9. I don't have any other Zeuses though, so unfortunately we won't be able to compare that in this video, but I am interested to see how much distance we can squeeze out of this Zeus out in the field. So without much further ado, we're gonna head out to a field. I'm gonna be tossing all of the Z-LITE plastic discs along with the ESP counterparts that I have, and let's see how they compare to each other. All right, we're gonna kick things off with the ESP Athena first, and then we'll try the Z-LITE second. A little bit of hyzer, really overstable. Pretty solid distance though. Let's try the Z-LITE Athena again. We're looking at 158 grams this time, so let's see if we can go further. How does the stability hold up? Well, I threw that off my mark. Still very stable. I meant to throw that more to the left, let it get away from me, but it still held up stability wise. Pretty solid, honestly. All right, next up, we got the Onyx here, ESP, so 172 grams. Oh, really, really stable. Look at that. In a tailwind, definitely would be a headwind fighter for me. Really stable. So let's give the lightweight, what are we looking at? 154 grams for this one. Still very stable. So far, these are pretty comparable stability wise. I do think that Z-LITE got a little further, but it still had some fight, that's for sure. All right, last disc that I have in ESP, we have the Hades here. Under stable distance driver, but we are throwing into a headwind. Yep, pretty solid. Still a very overstable finish, but got a little bit of turn out of it in this tailwind. So now we have a Hades here, Z-LITE in 153 grams. So let's see what happens here. Oh, that is significantly more understable. Good thing we're throwing this one into a tailwind. That could have been a roller if we threw into a headwind. All right, I don't have an ESP Zeus because I knew it was gonna be too much disc for me. The Z-LITE might still be a bit too much for me, but we'll see in this Z-LITE plastic if I can get any sort of distance out of it. Okay, it didn't fade out right away. Pretty good distance for me, honestly. Definitely something I'm not putting in my bag by any means, but it didn't start fading right away. Like if I were throwing a Destroyer or a max weight Zeus, I would imagine that would immediately start fading. But so far it's holding up. Let's go the other way here, throwing all of those into a headwind and see what happens. Okay, so my ESP Onyx was the shortest of the group. I did sort of let go of this one a little bit earlier, so it was a weaker throw for sure. My Z-LITE Onyx is like 60 feet further, just by comparison. Similar stability again though. A lot of my discs did end up here on the left side. So next up here, we have the Zeus. So not too much difference from some of my other discs here. So that sort of shows that I don't really need to be throwing any 12-speed drivers still. But over here, we got a couple ESP discs. So we have the ESP Hades here and my ESP Athena here. And then the Z-LITE Hades, similar distance, honestly. Not that much further. I'm looking more to the right here. It's just more to the right. That's just from it being a little more understable. I thought that was gonna help it get a little more distance, but distance-wise, I got the ESP about the same. Z-LITE Athena is actually a little shorter than my ESP Athena. It's interesting, I definitely thought I was gonna get more distance with these Z-LITE discs, but as of right now, from this first wave of throws, it doesn't seem like I'm getting a lot more, if any. The only one that I threw further was the Z-LITE Onyx versus this ESP Onyx. So we're gonna give them another toss going the other way into a headwind, and let's see how, especially the overstable discs, how they hold up to the headwind. All right, so we're going the opposite direction. The wind seems to have died down a little bit, but when it's blowing, it is a headwind. So most of these discs I would trust in a headwind. The Hades, I'm not sure. We'll see what happens with especially with the lightweight Hades. But honestly, the rest of these seem like they had pretty good overstability, even the really lightweight ones. So we'll see. Hopefully there's a good gust of wind right now. Hopefully that holds true for the lightweight discs, because I really want to see, can they stand the wind? So well, it's blowing right now. Let's get to it. I'm going to actually start off with the lightweight Athena while it's blowing. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. There is still a pretty good headwind here, and it it turned a little bit, but it was not going to turn over at all, even in this lightweight plastic. That's crazy. Awesome. So let's go with the ESP Athena right after just to see. Oh, you can see the wind raising it up, but okay, I feel like the ESP did have a little bit more stability. It definitely wanted to swing a little higher. Now that could be because it got raised way up into the air, but I was really impressed that that lightweight, a sub 160 grams, still holding up in this headwind. So that is impressive. All right, next up we got the Onyx here. I'm gonna try to actually give this one a good throw. My last throw was subpar. There's a better throw, but you can see that Onyx for me, super overstable. It does have 3 fade, 10-speed discs, so it's supposed to be overstable, but there's a reason why I do not use that disc in my bag. Let's go with the lightweight. Again, 154 grams. Yeah, oh my. Threw a little nose up there, started lifting up. Definitely gonna hold up, I think, in the wind. So that's really impressive what Discraft has been able to do with these lightweight discs. You'll still be able to get reliable stability, but I'm interested to see, like, are these Z-LITE going further though? Like, is it even worth bagging? Because that's sort of the whole reason why you would go with a lightweight disc, is if you have a slower arm speed like myself, you want a lightweight disc to try to carry a little further. And I don't know if that's actually happening. It does seem like they are pretty similar distance-wise. All right, next up we're going with the ESP Hades here. Pretty good throw. All right, wind picking up a little bit also, which is good. So let's see what happens with this lightweight Hades. Good headwind here. That is so much more understable. That almost turned into a roller. I didn't even throw it like 100% full power. I felt like it was a little bit of a weaker throw than the one I did with the ESP. That one is the most, and that sort of makes sense, I guess. It's the most understable disc of the group. So that one, the understability really comes out more. All right, last disc here, lightweight Zeus. Let's see if we can get a little turn out of it in this headwind. Yeah, a little bit, but still very overstable. So as of right now, the Hades definitely has the most difference between the two. The ESP Hades definitely had a little turn to it, but I was not worried that it was gonna flip over or anything. That lightweight one though, I mean, it's also the lightest of the group, 153 grams. It is significantly more understable. So once again, we got everything sort of clumped up within 20 feet of each other. Distance-wise, very similar also. So for example, we have my Z-LITE Athena and my ESP Athena actually went a little further. We have the ESP Hades here and the Z-LITE Hades way off to the right over here. My Zeus pushed a little bit further. That's actually my furthest flying disc of the group, so that's pretty solid. The two Onyxes are over here, so the Z-LITE went a little further to the left, ESP here, but distance-wise, we're looking at about the same distance. The Z-LITE is maybe a foot ahead distance-wise, but that's so marginal. So far, surprisingly, I'm not seeing that much difference between the Z-LITE and the ESP. I'm definitely not getting like a regular increased distance with the lighter weight discs like I thought I was. But also surprisingly, most of the discs are holding up stability-wise. So the Hades is the only one that seems like it has the biggest difference. I wish I had an ESP Zeus. I imagine that also is a little bit more noticeable, where regular max weight Zeus would dump completely right after it leaves my hands. But we're gonna give each of these a toss in each direction. The wind is swirling around. We're throwing the opposite direction from the last throws, but we're dealing with the headwind again. So wind is going crazy here. We're going full power rips here. We're gonna start off with the ESP disc, then the Z-LITE. So starting off with the Athena first. Really good throw there for me. Great distance for the Athena. Nice, I really like that throw. So let's see, can I get this lightweight Athena to go even further? Those are two really good throws. I'm very happy with both of those, so we'll see if the Z-LITE carried further or not. That one was a good set. Next up, ESP Onyx here. Really got on that Onyx. Still incredibly overstable. Not that much further, if any, than my Athenas. So definitely don't need to be bagging an Onyx unless I can get this lightweight one to carry further. I felt like I had a pretty good throw on that, but that Z-LITE is still incredibly overstable. That's so crazy how much stability it still has, even in that lighter weight plastic. We're gonna really be gunning with the Hades. We'll see. I might be able to flip the lightweight one into a roller. Let's see what happens. Yeah, look at that. A lot of turn out of the ESP. That one's way gone. Which means if I throw this Z-LITE one on that same power and angle, this is gonna become a roller. I'm gonna step on this side of the camera. I'm gonna aim it to the left. Pretty similar, same spot. It actually didn't turn into a roller. Z-LITE Zeus. Oh, look at that. That's a great throw. All right, let's go see where they all landed. This is the moment of truth. We're really interested to see, did we get any extra distance? I felt like most of those were really good throws and pretty consistent between the two. So, oh, here we go. So we have my ESP Athena here, and my Z-LITE Athena is a good 15 feet further, maybe 20 feet. So we finally got a little bit more distance. Here we have my ESP Onyx And my Z-LITE Onyx was like even more overstable, it felt like. Similar distance though. Here's my Zeus further to the right of my Athena and my Onyx here. So I would definitely say the Zeus, even in lightweight plastic, is still too much disc for me. All right, and then way off to the right, almost to the tree line, we have my Z-LITE Hades, but my ESP Hades went a good like 35 feet further. So here's one where, again, the ESP plastic, either the same or better. Last set of throws here, going back this way, again, a headwind. So I was hoping this time it would be a tailwind, or at least no wind even, but it's a pretty strong headwind here. So we're gonna give them all one more toss. Let's see how it goes. ESP Athena first. I keep throwing them straight into the air. Really giving them time to swing back. Z-LITE Athena next. There's a good throw. Look at that, still good stability. Wow. I am really impressed by the Z-LITE Athena especially. The Onyx too, as far as stability goes, but I just wish it would carry further for me. So here we go, ESP Onyx first. That was a really good rip on the Onyx, and you can see it just dies. It has a listing of 6 glide, but I do not have the arm speed for that. Z-LITE. Yeah, really similar flight, honestly. I'm not seeing that much difference between the two Onyxes. They seem like they have similar stabilities, similar distance, so that one I don't think there's any reason to bag the Z-LITE as of right now, because it's not getting that much further than the ESP. ESP Hades, what's this one gonna do? The wind died down, so that just went straight into the air, threw it nose up. Getting kind of tired here. Let's do the Z-LITE Hades here. Oh, I threw it into the woods still. Fade a little. Okay, I won't have to go searching for it at least. That's got some turn to it. Here we go with the last throw with the Zeus. That's gonna fade. Look at that, you can see the wind really pushing that lightweight disc around. So let's go see where they landed. All right, well, once again, the ESP Athena got beat out by the Z-LITE Athena, maybe 7 feet or so, not too much. ESP Onyx beat out the Z-LITE Onyx, but not by too much there either. I think those two are very similar as of right now. My Hades was like a terrible throw. We'll discount that. I can see my Zeus over here, furthest throw of the group. My Z-LITE Hades is over here somewhere. So I'm gonna head home and I'll give you my initial impressions of these Z-LITE discs. This isn't gonna be my final thoughts on the discs yet, because I do plan on doing like a little challenge out on the course where we'll compare the discs to each other. I'll give you my more comprehensive thoughts then, but also let you know what I think after these first couple throws with the Z-LITE discs versus their ESP counterparts. All right, well, that was actually really interesting to see how these lightweight Z-LITE discs behave. For the first thing, stability-wise, these hold up, which is really impressive, especially when throwing into a headwind. I expected some of these lightweight discs to just sort of get tossed around, turn way over, but the Athena, for example, this one is probably the disc that impressed me the most. When I had really good throws with it, I was able to squeeze out a little bit more distance, but it still held up stability-wise. But the biggest thing with these lightweight discs is I was surprised that I was not able to get more distance when compared to their ESP counterparts. I really thought I was going to be able to get like 20 feet further with each of these discs when compared to the full weight discs that I had, but for the most part they were pretty much going the same distance. So that definitely surprised me. Now I will say, like, my arm has been kind of tired over the past couple of days. I played a lot of disc golf earlier in the week. My body's kind of tired. I'm going to be resting up, and I do plan on going out to a course where we do like I'm planning on doing like a ESP versus Z-LITE battle almost. And basically on each shot on the course, I'll sort of choose what disc sort of fits that shot better. And we'll throw both of the Z-LITE and the ESP version. We'll see which plastic blend wins out. I think that'll be really interesting, and hopefully my arm will be a little bit fresher, and maybe we'll see some more noticeable differences then. I did not seem like I was gaining that much distance using these lightweight discs, so if that's the case, I actually don't know if I would bag any of these. I would probably just stick with the max weight versions just to really be able to combat like a stronger headwind or something like that, where these discs might fall apart a little bit more if we're dealing with like gale force winds or something. Yeah, really surprising. If you've had a chance to throw any of these Z-LITE discs, let me know what you guys have found down in the comments. Have you found that you're able to get more distance with the lightweight discs, or are you finding any of them to be more noticeably unstable or anything? Let me know down in the comments below. But that is going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. If you enjoyed watching this little initial review of the Z-LITE discs, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and ring that notification bell so you can be notified when our next episode comes out. Until next time, guys, cheers.